All right, Anthony Hartwig here, and we are with Boardman again. It's a tennis player profile on the girls' side. Payton Connerth joining us today, junior out of Boardman. Payton, thank you so much for coming on and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You got it. So talk about what it's like now, upperclassmen. So it's your first year of coming from one of the younger players to now one of the older players. You transition into a little bit more leadership, a little bit more responsibilities. What has that been like for you so far this year?
Yeah, it's definitely different than in the past when I've been the underclassman and not always been the leader. But now, since there is no seniors on the tennis team, the juniors are the oldest girls. And so we really had to step up and become the leaders of the team and help our team like get to victory and stuff. So it was really different this year than it was last year because I didn't have any older role models to look up to. I had to become that role model.
I know, coming into this year and you're so young, you don't have any seniors on the team. From the outside perspective, it can be like, man, they're going to struggle to find leadership and consistency. But what's it been like to know that like your de facto two senior years when it comes to leadership? Like you have this year to be a leader, to be a guiding light, but then you have it again next year where you get to do the same thing. What has that been like for you mentally to be like, okay, I can do all I can this year, and then I have next year to try to do the same thing as a senior next year as well.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because it's like a crash course. I get to practice being a leader before my senior year and before I can become like a real captain. And I can try out different ways and different things to include everyone and be the leader for them. So then this year I can really do it good next year.
In what ways do you think you have become a leader? What kind of leadership attributes do you think you bring to this program?
I'm very loud and positive, and I think it's important to include everyone. And, I lead the stretches and I help get the girls ready for the matches and I give them advice and I just try to help them out in any way that I can and be there for them.
Let's talk about your tennis journey. When did you pick up the racket? When are some of your first memories on the tennis court?
I've been playing tennis since I was about 7 years old. I started at Applewood Swim and Tennis Club in my neighborhood, and it's a very small program. And we had a lot of struggles with bad courts and stuff like that. So it's been a long journey to get to where I am now. And I play in the winter with my dad and stuff like that. So I've been playing pretty much my whole life.
Now you say you play with your dad. Was that something like was he already into tennis, or did he kind of morph into someone that you could go and play with once you picked up the sport?
Yeah, he kind of morphed as I did as well. He started to get more serious as I did and watch more videos and learn more about it and do all he can to help me get to be better.
What's it like to? I mean, everyone's dad is awesome, right? But what's it like to have someone that shows you like, hey, maybe I didn't know too much about this sport before you got interested in it, but because you love it, I will put in the work. I will watch those videos. I will go out. I'll play with you to become just as invested in the sport as you are. What's that do for you from the support level and from the mentality level?
It's very important. It helps me stay focused and know that there's people in my corner who love it just as much as I do, and it helps me with my game and everything. And it's really nice to know that somebody out there is as passionate as it as I am and loves it for me.
When did you start taking tennis seriously? When did it go from something as a 7 year old that you were just going out there having fun to, okay, I can be good at this. I can work at this. I can make this into something that I can go and do.
I would say around my eighth grade year, so about 3-ish or so years ago, I really started to hammer down and put in the work to get better. And I really started to realize that, wow, I can actually be good. I can actually do this. And so it's been a while now since I've started, and I need to put in the work to get better.
You don't work hard at something unless you love it. So, what do you love so much about tennis that makes you keep coming back to it, keep going in the winters, keep working hard?
Tennis is my favorite sport. I love it so much. I love how healthy it is. And, you really have to have a good mental game in order to be out there on the court for so long and keep going and keep going. And you really have to lock in and hammer down on like focus. And it takes a lot of high or eye hand coordination and footwork, and you really need to have speed and agility. And I just love everything about the game and the sport and watching it. And so it's really easy to play it for me because I love it so much.
Someone that loves the sport, what's it like to see it grow and grow in the community? I mean, we're seeing more and more programs jump onto the whole tennis thing. We're seeing more schools add tennis teams every year. What's it like to look around and know that like the community is catching up with this sport and it's starting to become a bigger and bigger phenomena in this Youngstown community?
Yeah, it's really good to see because it's a really good sport, and I think everybody should try it, whether it's for fun or for seriousness. I think it's good for you and good for everybody, and it's really nice to see that the community is getting into that and seeing that it is a good sport. And it's I like to see that other schools are starting to get teams and stuff. I think it's really good for the girls and boys too.
I'm sure you've seen players come on and try it out maybe as a freshman because they just want to try out a sport and they think tennis will be fun. What are some of the selling points that you say when you try to bring them onto the tennis team? What are some of the recruitment tools that you use in the hallways to bring maybe a Boardman student onto the tennis team?
Some recruitment methods I would say I would use is that we do have a lot of fun. The coaches make it a lot of fun and we play a lot of fun games and stuff. But we also do work really hard, and you have to want to be good. And it's really good atmosphere, and all the girls, we have a lot of fun, and we're really open to a lot of people. And it's just a great sport, and anybody could really try to do it.
Do you also watch a lot of tennis? And if you do you have like a favorite tennis player?
I do watch a lot of tennis with my dad, and my favorite tennis player is Iga Swiatek and Coco Gauff.
Awesome. So when we think about, we just got off this kind of Olympic stretch where tennis is one of those sports that kind of gets in the limelight for a little bit. And it kind of does every time a major pops up. Tennis becomes one of those highlighted sports. When you get those opportunities, when it becomes a sport that kind of gets the prime time attention, it gets on the headlines. What's it like for you from someone that loves it so much to see people maybe brought in from outside the sport and new fans be able to jump into it?
Yeah, it's really good to see when people who don't normally watch tennis get into it because it is a smaller sport. It's not as big as like football and stuff. So when you see a lot of people in the community and a lot of my friends and all over social media, like watching it and actually enjoying the game and getting to see what I love about it, it really does bring me a lot of joy to see that.
If you had a chance to have a sit down with your favorite tennis players, what would be some questions that you would ask them? Some things that you would want to pick their brains about their game.
I think I would ask them what their favorite place they've ever played, because tennis takes you all over the world, and I know it's would be really cool to play at some of those different courts, and maybe what their favorite surface is, or some of the tactics they use when they get in their head, and some of their favorite warm-up activities, because warm-up is very important in tennis, and you have to warm up your legs and stuff. So what their favorite warm up things are and what they do to calm themselves down in those moments of stress.
I have to turn some of those questions back around on you. What's your favorite place that you've played tennis at?
I think my favorite place I've ever played tennis at is honestly right here at Boardman High School. We have really great courts, and it's where I feel the most at home on the courts. And I really feel like I get in a nice groove. I know the hard court, the way the ball bounces. So I like it here the best.
Keep it home. I love it. Do you have a favorite surface or maybe one that you haven't played on that you would love to play on?
I would love to try clay. I like to slide around a lot, get to some of those harder shots. I would love to try to play on some clay.
And then you wanted to ask some of the warm up routines. What are some of your favorite warm up routines that you have before a tennis match?
I like to take a nice lap or a jog, get my blood flowing, make sure that I'm awake and ready. Maybe I like to do some squats or some like um, ball drills on the court where you dribble both balls at the same time. That's always good. So you get your brain working and moving.
Any sport where there's a serve, whether it be tennis, ping pong, volleyball, whatever it may be, there's always a routine before the serve. What's your routine? What's your serving routine that you keep the same every time you go back to the service line?
Well, it's very important to keep it very consistent so you can get it in and stuff. So I do 4 bounces with the ball in my left hand, and then I put the ball in the center of the racket, and then I take the racket up and I count 5, and then I throw the ball up, and then I hit it and I fall through and hope for the best.
What do you think is the part of your game that you have gotten or improved the most in since you were a freshman here at Boardman?
I would say my ground strokes are a lot better than they were when I first came. I have really tried to focus in on like following through over my shoulder and getting the top spin and the slices and following through my backhand and over my shoulder and stuff like that. I've really tried to hit more winners and things like that.
We're having so much fun talking about tennis, but we have to talk about you in the classroom as well. You're holding a 3.9 GPA right now, which is awesome. It's so hard to hold up a GPA like that. What are some of the things that you think have been astronomical in your success as a student?
I would my um strength to or not afraid to like hard work. Like I'm not afraid of a challenge. I will persevere. Like I will um even if I don't know it or if I'm struggling with the topic, I will find ways to figure out what it is or how to learn it or how to do it better. And I will talk to my teachers and I'll make sure that I know it before a test. I want to be well prepared.
Who are some teachers that you think really helped you along the way, impacted your journey?
My math teacher, Mrs. Rowan, she has helped me a lot through the years in more ways than just math, but I do struggle with math, and she did help me a lot. Um, I would say maybe Mrs. Sears, one of my art teachers. I love art, and she helped me um, gain that knowledge of art early on when I was young.
All right, Peyton, we end these player profiles the same way every time. We've been talking about you for a while. We want to let you take the limelight off yourself a little bit, talk about the people in your life that have meant so much to you that you think you wouldn't be here without. I want to give you the time to give thank yous and shout outs out to those people.
I would say a big thank you to my mom and my dad who are always there for me, who always support all my dreams and my big ambitions, and my dad who has really stepped up and became more of a coach in tennis after I wanted to become more serious. And I definitely wouldn't be the player I am without him and my mom's unconditional love and support, and my brother and his support, and all my friends who know that I'm very serious about tennis and who are always willing to come watch me play, and they just know how much I love it. And thank you to all the coaches and all the teachers who have helped me to be who I am right now, and I wouldn't be here without any of you guys, so thank you.
All right, Peyton, we want to thank you so much for the time. We appreciate you coming on, talking about your tennis journey. Wish you the best of luck the rest of this season, and we can't wait to talk again real soon.
Thank you so much.